Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Prey vs. Predator. This episode is part of a series we're doing with a very special guest and friend of the pod, Sophia. She has such an incredible story, and we didn't want to cut it short. Some of the details of her story are really difficult to hear, so listener discretion is advised. Finally, quick reminder that we have a Patreon page. You can give as little as $3 a month to support us in our efforts to educate and arm the prey of the world. Thanks again for tuning in, and we really hope you enjoyed this episode. Welcome back to Prey vs. Predator, the podcast. We are so thrilled for you to join us on this glorious day. I have my compatriots, PJ and Jill, and we've got a special guest, Sophia, that we are thrilled to share her story and debrief her experiences and just find out more about her.
Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So we're going to start at the very beginning, which is a very good place to start. Tell us about your childhood and what's important for us to know about you and setting the stage for your story.
Okay. I had pretty steady childhood until I was in adolescence and my father lost his job and he turned to alcohol at that time and manifested more of his alcoholism, and it switched from kind of that casual drinking to being very abusive alcoholic. And so my whole adolescence was filled with a lot of verbal abuse. My mom, her way of coping was working a lot and escaping. And so I was left in the home to be the primary caregiver in a lot of ways, like by grade 6, coming home and cooking dinner and then doing dishes and doing all the cleaning and the housework and then yard work, all the things. So as the time progressed, it became more and more abusive as I got older. And so that was kind of the core of my childhood experience.
Did you ever think that wasn't okay? Or
I knew how it wasn't okay. It's funny, my brother said he went to another family's home and sat and had dinner with them, and it felt like so foreign. He was like, oh, it was like not every family's like this.
Yeah.
And so it takes time, I think, when you're just in it and you don't have language, you don't have anything to compare it to, it is your normal.
Yeah.
So I thought it was normal.
So I know for myself, certain aspects of your childhood resonate for me, the responsibility and all that kind of. Mm-hmm. Did you find that you were resentful, or were you just, like, I was angsty as a teenager? You didn't go through any of that?
Oh, I think it was anxiety more than anger. I was always trying to keep it together to protect my brother. I was the oldest, but I've always been that person. I'm a caregiver. So doing all the things felt pretty natural for me. But as I got older, I started, obviously, by the time I come to the end of my teens, start to go, hey, like, this is not okay. And then I ended up going to university to get my degree in psychology so that I could figure out how to not repeat a pattern.
Right.
Good idea.
Yeah, didn't work that great. We'll find out later. But hey, woo, tried.
So how did you meet your predator? Was it in university?
It was I met him. I actually came out to a different city. I was visiting a friend and we met and it was an instant connection. I saw him. He was part of a group of her friends, instant connection. So I was already well in my way in university by then. And so, and that's when we met.
What first attracted you? Like, what was the instant connection? Tell us a little bit about that.
So dynamic, very popular in that group, very funny, very charming. I'm not going to lie, Levi's, maybe part of it.
So he's hot.
Young. Yeah, good looking. He had all the things, right? And so, he just swept me off my feet in a very fast and furious way.
Like how?
Well, from the first time I met him was in the fall, and we were engaged by January 1st, 6 weeks from the time that we had our first official date to being engaged, and with full family support.
So was he pursuing you, or you were pursuing him, or
he was pursuing me?
And how did he do that?
It was long distance, actually. We only saw each other on the weekends. But he would phone and send flowers and talk and just all the things. So even because of the phone, right, then you can connect even deeper, right? You can talk, you can share, you can do all those things. So yeah, it was very quick.
So how did he fit into what you were learning with your psychology degree? Was he like part of the dream that you were constructing that your life was going to be?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know if I would connect those dots quite that way.
Okay.
I wasn't maybe, you're young.
Yeah.
So was I able to formulate that? I think I was just caught up in all the romance, to be honest. It was exciting. He was so charismatic and so attentive and just like always complimenting you and just all the things that just fill you up, right? So.
Did you meet his family at the time?
Yeah, I did.
And they were
supportive and excited, and they have a religious background, so they could see that there was heat. So they thought, you better get married quick. It's better to get married than burn with passion, right? So they were very gung-ho on things going quickly. And of course, my home life was conflicted and difficult. So to exit quickly seemed like a really good idea.
Sure. When did you, were there red flags? When did you realize that perhaps this was not a fairy tale?
Several weeks after we had made a commitment to each other, we sat down one night. We'd actually stayed at my parents' house for the night, and he said, "There's something I need to tell you." And this was probably, we'd had only been together maybe a year. So from the very beginning. And he said, "There's something I need to tell you." And he said, in my past, I had pornography addiction. I'd seen prostitutes. And this is part of my story, but it totally went away when I met you. Mm-hmm. And now I feel free. Mm-hmm. And he cried. He showed like deep regret, and for me, it was like, he's vulnerable. He's being transparent. He's taking this risk with me. We cried together, and that actually drew me in even more in how he was being so honest. Yeah. But looking back, wow, okay, our relationship had been a lie.
Yeah.
And that commitment that I had made to him had been a lie. It was all, the foundation was a lie.
Yeah.
Do you think there was any hints of this when you were dating?
No.
Or did he really well hid this part of himself?
I had no clue.
No clue at all.
None whatsoever.
So when
including him, he had told me he was a virgin when we got married. So you can imagine, it's like he was selling a spirituality. He was selling self-regulation, right? All the things that drew me into him. And so you can imagine my surprise, because this event happened 2 or 3 weeks after we were married. And so I realized, wow, these vows had lies. But I couldn't see it then. I see it now. But it was like the foundation was there. So did I answer the question?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was the first flag.
Mm-hmm. And how did you deal with it?
Again, another regret. We should have gotten help, but it was like, that was the end of the story. It was like, we cried together. You told me, now it's gone away. I believe you. You're married now. You have unlimited access. So why would you struggle? Right? So you kind of cover it up, or you make it a little bit prettier than it is, or you can't cope with it at the time, I think. Well, so, I mean, it's new. I'm young. I'm a new bride. I'm not going to blow up my marriage week 3. Right? We're going to keep going.
Well, and it sounds like the way it was framed to you was wonderful. Like this, you are an angel that has been sent to free me.
Yes.
And now I'm free. And so this dark thing that was true is not true. And, we talk about this being like evil genius.
Yes.
It's just framed in a way that you end up feeling really wonderful about who you are.
Yeah.
And because it's wrapped up in this.
And you're praised. You're praised for being so loving. You're praised for being so understanding. How did I ever find you?
Yeah.
Someone who's this loving.
So here you, so
what do I want to be?
Yes.
I want to be loving.
Yeah.
Right? It's who I am.
It's who you are.
I want to nurture you. I'll support you.
Did you feel that way? Did you feel proud or praised in that moment? Or was there some hint of like, not sure how I feel about this?
I don't think I gave myself permission
To do that.
to reflect on how it was impacting me.
If you could go back to that moment, what would you, as you now,
Yeah.
with your strength and what you know, what would you say in that? What would you want yourself to say in that moment now?
Run, girl.
To him or to,
him.
yourself?
Oh, to him.
To him.
To
yeah.
him?
Yeah. When he shared all this with you in this in these glorious ways, what would you like to do? Or what would you like to have spoken to him in that moment?
That's a great one. I think I'd want to say, it sounds to me like you have a very big problem. And for us to move forward, I'm going to need to see you do the work.
Brilliant.
I think too is there's often this magical thinking in a lot of religious or even when you're young, it can just go away.
Yeah.
And we all know as we get older that things don't just go away. They compound or they, if you don't really work on them. So I can see as being a young woman, believing him. Oh, it just miraculously went away.
We just prayed and then it went away
Yeah.
because God is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's a story we tell ourselves, a story I told myself. Yeah. So then you had kids. And how did that affect your relationship and what was going on?
Yeah. So it was a full on, like it was wonderful and charming, like all the things until I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And then there was a shift, and it was a gradual shift. I saw him withdrawing. He wasn't successful financially. I could see the pressure mounting. I was the primary bread earner. And so that's going to change. So all these dynamics are changing. So baby one, he's withdrawn. It continues, the financial pressure, the stress, anger is now coming up. Things are becoming more abusive. A lot of yelling, a lot of controlling types of behaviors start to emerge. And then it would cycle, right? You'd have this loop. It would be like, oh, things are wonderful and and we're going to do this. And then the withdrawal and slowly like this.
How would he withdraw? Like, what did that look like?
Well, he disappeared. Like he created a job. He had a job that was in the evenings. So you would never know where he was. It was very much a lack of accountability. Well, I had another client and so he could be gone at night. And so I would be alone with the baby a lot, right? And then it got more and more like I grew up watching soap operas, for example, with my mom, who was our thing.
Me
right?
too, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, he forbid that. So he cut off cable. So, but like a good wife, I went to Radio Shack and I got rabbit ears. I hid them in the toy box.
People don't
I've
know
never been
what
good at
rabbit.
submitting. It's just not my thing. So
People don't know what rabbit ears are. This is way back in the day where you put them on top of your TV and you could get channels. It's like three basic channels for free.
yes, that's how old I am. It's unfortunate.
So a new mom with new babies.
Yeah.
You had real needs, right? Was he able to meet your emotional needs? Like, tell us about that.
In the short answer, yes and no.
Okay.
In the cycle, there was seasons where it was lovely. And then it would withdraw again until I was lonely, alone, frazzled, exhausted. I would communicate needs. And then there'd be an explosion. And then the love bombing, if you want to call it that, the love, the connection would all come back. And so you do that. But it would just, but then you get so immersed in the baby. So baby two comes, you get so immersed in caregiving that you can kind of let it go, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're not connecting, but that's pretty normal, right? We have a young family. We're all tired. He's doing his best, trying to make a living, but it's getting worse, right? The control, like punching the roof of the car when I'm expressing my needs, like different things like that. So, and the financial pressure is mounting. My parents are rescuing us regularly because they're in a bad spot, seeing that I don't have enough money for food, for clothes, for things, the basics of life. Cars break down because they're all junk. So all the pressure's mounting. So then after a few years, baby 2 is not quite 2 years old yet, between 1 and 2. And we just got internet. We got a computer for Christmas, right? Brand new. Woo, how exciting.
A 486.
There's this cool internet thing. You're not going to believe it, right? So computer comes in. Within 3 months, I look on there and in the morning I see, boom, it's full of porn, right? Wow. And so 'cause he was not tech savvy, so he just turned off the power button of the monitor. That's not that bright. So that was the discovery, the first real discovery of pornography. Things started to mount. I'm putting pieces together.
Did you say something in that moment, or were you too
I
fearful?
phoned him and I said, this happened. He said, oh, yeah, something popped up. So I phoned a spiritual advisor and said, this is what I found. What should I do? And she said, don't ask any more questions. We will, let's come together. Let's meet and let's come up with a plan so I can support you in it.
Wow,
so I can support you.
Do you think that, don't ask any more questions? I'm kind of like confused by that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Is that a healthy response, or is that like another form of gaslighting in a sense, or
Her intention was that we were going to sit down together so that I wouldn't have a disclosure by myself.
Okay.
So it was going to happen on the Monday. So that was on a Friday.
Okay.
She said, let's get together. We'll bring him in the room. We're going to have her and another pastor into the room. And we'll find out what's really going on. And then they had met earlier. The men's pastor had met earlier to find out all the information, and she knew all the information, and she said she had just wept for me, knowing what was coming. So
that wasn't her first rodeo.
No.
Yeah.
And so I remember going into that office, but over the weekend, I'm putting all the pieces together of all the missing timelines and all the things, right? And so then that Monday.
How did you two interact with each other over the weekend when you both knew this was coming?
It was so, he was just so like jittered and anxious, and I was crying.
Yeah.
I was a wreck. And then you got 2 babies to care for, right?
Yeah.
The anxiety was like through the roof.
So that's my question is, how were you responding to all this pressure? Was your body telling you stuff?
Yeah, I was shutting down. Like I was starting to totally power, like almost, you know, how your body just starts to curl in on itself, right? And I'm trying to care for babies, but I'm in my bed and bracing.
Not getting out of bed.
Bracing, yeah. So that Monday, we go in and he unloads this double life.
So they didn't have to pry very hard? Like, did it seem like he wanted to tell you?
I think they pried him very hard.
Okay.
And I let him know, if you leave one thing unsaid and I find out about it later, it's done.
Okay, good for you.
So this is your moment. So a lot came out. Again, prostitutes, strip clubs, all kinds of things. But the truth is that it didn't all come out that day. He kept some things back, and those things led to an arrest. I won't give the details of that one because it would tie me to a storyline. And then I found out that he was also having an affair with a friend. So all of those things were happening simultaneously.
Pretty busy.
Yeah, he was very busy.
Did he actually have a job?
Well, that's the point. He's never been able to actually work like a full-time. He has the illusion of a job, right? But I've always been the one that's actually carrying the load. So he was not effective at work. How do you manage all of that? Right?
Yeah, that's what I was
making,
wondering.
I think, $10,000 a year at that time
So here,
with 2 kids.
Yeah, not super helpful.
No.
For you, because you were trying to also primary caregivers, my understanding.
Yeah.
For you, the first disclosure that you had talked about was him framing this in a way of, it's done, it's over, you freed me.
Yeah.
Was there a framing for this moment? Was there, and if so, how did this come out? In what was his countenance? What was his energy? How did he frame it? Was there blame? Was there ownership? No, was there?
He didn't blame. I'm a broken man. I'm devastated. I don't know how I could have done this to you. I'm so sorry. What can I do? He put himself in a position like, I'll do all the things. Like, I'll do the laundry. I'll do the cookie. Like, you don't have to care for me. Like, you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. I'm going to get accountability. I'm going to get a counselor. I'm going to do the work. Like, I don't understand how I got here, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to fight for us.
Okay. Was there a victimhood involved? Like, was there a sense of,
you brought me to this, or if I wasn't working?
like what I was thinking more like when you say I'm broken, like, something bad happened to me.
Yes.
I was abused.
Yes. Those things started to come out of the woodwork at that time with therapist, abuse background, early exposure to pornography, those kinds of things. So now we're linking it to trauma. Yeah. Right? This is not my fault.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was wondering.
This is a product of my trauma.
Right.
And I was so empathetic. I was like, you have to love the boy to help heal the man. So I would visualizing the abused boy, and how can I love that boy and heal that boy,
which is pretty beautiful and very empathetic and loving, right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? That phrase? It sounds like a phrase someone used, or was it something you created to?
I think that was in my own introspection and how I related to it, just knowing, and even background in just knowing about trauma, I had that empathetic response, and that you'll see in my story is like, I'm so aware now, but it took me a long time to even identify myself in the story. Like I didn't give myself the same compassion. I didn't notice that I was being victimized. I was so caught up in his story.
Yeah, taking care of him.
And taking care of him and the children and like all of this, that I lost myself in the story. I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Right?
And so this story that he was presenting gave you hope.
Yeah.
I'm imagining.
Yeah.
So it was another kind of hopeful story. And at this point in your story, we have some reason to believe there's reason for hope that this is trauma, this is a brokenness, and he's willing to be loving and kind and reparative toward you. So then fast forward us a little bit,
very quickly he started a ministry to deal with purity. So that started to create the security. Right? Look what I'm doing. Now I'm helping others.
Yeah.
I've learned this great thing, and now I'm helping.
Healed.
I'm healed, and now I'm helping others. Yeah. Right?
Was it the space between all this disclosure and then creating a ministry? Was there much room between those two? Because I would think that there needs to be.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
June was disclosure, started in September.
Nice.
Okay. Because that's not enough room.
No, he was not healed. Right?
But another miracle healing.
Yeah. Another miracle
that it's come out.
I'm better again.
So now
I've cleansed my conscience. My secrets are out, right? You're only sick as the secrets that you keep. So I've told you the truth, so I'm not sick anymore.
Would he use that kind of rhetoric? I'm curious, because that can often be a symptom of like a predator is using this kind of language.
Yes, later. He would learn the language as he went along, because this is still early.
Yeah.
This is many years ago. My children are adults now.
So he started a ministry.
Yeah.
Which I think takes a lot of effort. Wow.
But he was very charismatic, and I think people were quite drawn to him. Am I correct?
Yes, very charismatic, very had all the skills. And again, you learn as you go, as you reflect back. But he was so good at mirroring who I am.
Yeah.
He learned a lot on how to be empathetic.
Did he bring, like, I would think that if you're creating a ministry, you would try to go mentor under somebody.
Yes.
Did he do that? Like, I'm wondering if he found another person who was predatory to sort of hide behind and learn some skills from.
He did have a mentor, but I think that he used his charisma to dupe him too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he frames it in this more or less poor me, and that's not to minimize the profound impact of trauma. But at this point, we have reason to believe that this is what it is. At what point did you realize this isn't what that was?
Yeah, it was a long journey because we went on to, I ended up joining him in ministry, and we ended up planting a church and walked that all out. And so there was a lot of years where it would cycle again. We were back to those cycles, and more so like a lot of emotional neglect. He learned how to, like, the anger part was now quenched into like passive aggressive instead of being overtly angry. Like, he learned how to manage.
Can you give us some examples of what that looked like or felt like?
Stonewalling, silent treatment.
When you say stonewalling, what does that mean?
Stonewalling, along the, like not being willing to engage in the communication. Like, I could share with you that I'm hurting, but I'm not going to engage you. I'm not going to validate you. I'm not going to let this go into an intimate space where we have conflict resolution. It was just like, I'm not talking about that, right? And then if I push at silent treatment, I'm gone, like disappear.
So you would say, like, I'm hurting.
Yeah.
I'm lonely.
Yeah.
And what would he say?
He would either give a response that he knew I wanted to make me go away. Like, he got good at guessing, like, what I wanted to hear. So he'd do that as quick as possible, but there'd be no reconnect. Does that make sense? Like, you said all the things, but we're still so disconnected. And so, or he would just silent treatment until I gave up.
So the words that you're using now
Yeah.
are, you understand what this was now.
Yes.
What was, and you had used the word like abuse earlier.
Yeah.
The cycle of abuse sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you understand that's what it was in the moment? If not,
I saw it as a cycle, but I didn't call it abuse.
so you saw that there was a pattern.
A pattern. Yeah, that's a better word.
What was the story that you told yourself around the pattern? If not abuse, what was it?
That's a great question. I don't know if I gave it language. I think again, you're consumed with raising children and you're trying to keep it all together.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me, even when I decided to stay after that first disclosure, I wanted to keep my family together and protect my children. And I was willing to sacrifice myself completely to keep my children in an intact home. And so I was willing to endure.
Did you envision, when you say sacrificed yourself? Like, I'm very visual. Like, in my story, I talk about being the recycling or garbage can for the abuse in order to change it and convert it into something good. Did you have that kind of energy? Like, if I take it enough?
Yeah.
Or was it just like shutting down, or not? You didn't even have needs because you couldn't? Like, what was your experience?
Well, as things progressed, there started to be more of a shift towards blame. At the beginning, it was like, this is me, right? But once we settled back into a relationship where things weren't at risk of divorce, then it started to become more about me. So then the blame shifting started. And so then for me, it was like, read more books, try harder, start a gratitude journal.
Pedal.
So, like,
What was the blame? Like what
Who's blaming? Who's blaming?
Like,
are you blaming?
He's blaming me
Okay.
for, like, why don't you trust me? Like all the ways of like, why is this still here? Like, you told me you forgave me. Like, why are you asking me questions? Why do you want to see my phone? Like you're a mistrust, like all that, like you're being controlling.
Yeah. And
you're
gaslighting
being
too.
controlled.
So your needs
To feel safe.
are twisted
Yeah.
into being criticized and hurtful to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a tool,
Yeah.
right? This is the flip, the twist. So
Yeah.
you come with a heart that says, I want you, I need you, I want to be close and connected.
Yeah.
And part of the way I need that is to feel safe. And it helps me to feel safe if I check and make sure you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
And then that's flipped.
Yeah.
And you're bad.
And I'm bad for checking.
You're
Yeah.
you're controlling.
Yeah.
You're skeptical. You're unloving.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Did you buy that? Like in that moment?
Yes and no. I would.
Okay.
You do your own cycles. Like you start to believe the narrative, and then you like, how much more? I'll do the work. You're right. I'll do the work. And then I was always trying to self-improve, always trying to get better. And like another passive aggressive way that he controlled things was intimacy was never happening. Like he would reject me like constantly. So our sex life was terrible. And I'm like, you're a sex addict, to your own words, but where's the sex? Right. So
Did that frighten you then?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, he
Well,
must.
he's getting it somewhere.
Where is
Exactly.
it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where is it? So then he would relabel that. Well, that's called sexual anorexia. It's a thing. Right? You get to relabel it. Really? I don't think so. So
And
that
he's still
part-
teaching these courses at this time.
Yeah. And now we're teaching marriage classes together. We did that until I
never
finally
having
withdrew.
sex.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I withdrew. I said, until our marriage actually looks like what we're preaching, I'm out. So I withdrew. Same with, and we do counseling together, and I couldn't handle it because he would always like make the male the victim in those settings. And it was like perpetuating the abuse. And so I bowed out of that too. I'm like, I can't. So I would meet.
Tell us about that a little bit. What did that look like? How did he make that look?
He would reframe it like, well,
reframe what?
Like if, like, say the man's cheated, right? Because we were surrounded, right? It's what we did. The ministry was all about.
Right.
Everybody around us was cheaters,
okay.
right? So they cheated, but then he would look to the wife like, are you being kind? Are you being like, it's your job to forgive. You're still holding this, right? Like, what does the Bible say about forgiveness?
Yeah. So in some ways, he's even preaching to you in this moment.
Yes.
Right? We're now reframing.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to, that accountability part that sounded so good both times. It's me, I need to, is now very slowly, like, I mean, in my mind, I think that's a gaslight.
Yeah.
Like an ultimate kind of very slow gaslight. Because how do you argue with the head of the program? How do you argue with the creator of the content?
And you're in a setting with another couple who's hurting. I'm not going to fight with you in front of them.
Right.
I can't fight with you. I fought with you after, let me tell you. The ride home was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Right? And then we would fight. So then I withdrew from that process because I'm like, I can't be a part of this.
Sophia, I'm just going to go on a limb and guess, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Was there a spiritual element to that for you as well? Like, you're not being a good Christian wife. You're not being loving. You're not, here you would have been angry. Like, what did the fight cost you?
I think that it was even more sophisticated than that, because now I can preach the message from the front about love. I can send it without sending it to you.
So when you say you're talking about your ex-partner.
Yeah, yes. So I can preach the message of love with extravagance so that I'm sending you the message that anything outside of that is not love. And so it was much more sophisticated than in that moment, because in that moment, he had learned enough how to, this is the passive part, right? I know the language to calm you down. I'm going to use the language. I'm not going to fight you back. I'm not going to be that messy. I'm going to use the language to calm you down. But am I going to meet the need? Hell no.
Right.
Did he ever use like words that this is the type of wife you ought to be? Like
at the
that
end,
we've all heard.
So this is the middle of the story, but
Okay.
but we had so if I fast forwarded the story,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay.
So if the word shame comes to my mind, because if I'm preaching at the front of a church and I'm saying this language of love should be unconditional, love should be this sort of sophisticated language of kind of, I'm not saying this is what you should do, but I'm saying this is what all good women do or all good people do. Is there a shame element that happens for you? Is that tapping into that?
Definitely. I think I spent most of the years of my marriage spending all the time on my own growth and development. Like if I could just be a better wife, this would go away. Yeah. I tried like with body image things, like I went on radical diets to lose weight so I could be thin enough, I could be pretty enough, I could be smart enough, I could be emotionally available enough, I could I could be spiritual enough. Like I was on the hamster wheel of trying
just keep pedaling
to fix it. So hard to, right?
Did he ever use those against you? Or was it you just thinking about it?
That's
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that was the mastery. Like I feel like he knew how much I wanted to be that person, that it was easy. It was easy to just little doop, and then I would run with it. Yeah, it's
so your head was trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, and so then I would go inside. I can't fix you, right? That would be controlling. I'm not a controlling person. You're right. I have to fix me. That's the only person I can work on is me. Right. And this is going south. So I'm going to just keep working on me.
Totally. Okay.
Did you read any books when you were trying to work on yourself that actually said it maybe is not you?
I don't think at that time.
I'm just curious because so many books are about like what we can do to fix ourselves.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Is there any book out there that's like, maybe it's not you?
All the books are marriage is a dance. These relationships are a dance. You can, even therapy, forget spiritually, therapeutically. It takes two to tango. Marriage is a dance. You can if you fix your marriage without talking about it. His needs, her needs. If you're defensive, your partner, like if your partner might be critical because you're too defensive, they might be too defensive because you're too critical. If you fix being critical, it'll help them be less defensive. It's like, okay, so if I just accept the abuse, then my partner won't have to be critical of me anymore. I won't be defensive.
Yeah. If I think I love you better.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in next week to hear more of Sophia's incredible story. For more resources, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Prey vs. Predator, the podcast. If you like this content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. You can choose between a one-time gift or a regular donation for less than a coffee. All donations go towards our production costs so we can continue to do this for years to come. See you next week.